according to a 2017 article from the George Mason Law Review, Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Act was made to monitor those thought to harbor foreign intelligence. Now, the act was not designed to take any data from U.S. citizens or U.S. residents. However, as you will see later, it has been used to do so at times. Now, many of us, myself included, have been asked to enable cookies while browsing the web. This is just one form of data surveillance that we interact with on almost a daily basis. Now, most of the time, such forms of data surveillance are used in beneficial ways, such as targeted advertising, or used by the government for serious safety benefits. Now, almost everyone that uses the internet or telephone services has made themselves susceptible to data tracking at some point, so this is an issue that impacts lots of us. So in my speech, I would like to inform about what types of data Section 702 collects, and some of the pros and cons relating to data privacy and safety benefits that the Act has. Now, firstly, I'd like to lay a base of the information that Section 702 collects and who it is allowed to collect it from. Now, data surveillance under Section 702 takes many forms, and it is used and collected through multiple government agencies. According to a 2015 article from the Harvard Journal of Law and Public Policy, Section 702 empowers the targeting of persons reasonably believed to be located outside of the U.S. to acquire foreign intelligence information. Now, because of this, it is not supposed to be used to collect any data on U.S. citizens, whether or not they're living in the U.S., and especially for U.S. residents. Now, the data is supposed to be used almost exclusively, again, to gain foreign intelligence or to help prevent things like terrorist attacks and domestic attacks. So the data collection under this Act takes many forms, namely through telephone and internet data collection. Now, for the telephone data, the data is mostly collected through the telephone companies, such as Verizon or AT&T or other national companies. And for the internet portion of the data collection is done through two sources, either ISPs, internet service providers, such as Charter, or private companies such as Apple, Facebook, Google, or other, say, social media apps. Now, the only other type of data that is collected under Section 702 is called upstream data, which, regardless of whether it's sent to a certain person or certain IP address, the data is essentially everything that you do on your computer or all data crossing the internet. So now that you know some of what is collected under Section 702, I'd like to explain some of its potential benefits and what it's been used for. So Section 702, for the most part, is a legitimate safety precaution, and it allows for easy collection of data by government agencies. One of these forms is indirect collection of data, which comes with less risk, as you do not need a physical device such as a computer or a phone to collect the data or get the physical browsing information or physical activity on those devices, which is faster in a lot of cases, as it can all be done wirelessly. Now, for the most part, it's been used to neutralize dangerous threats, and according to a 2015 Indiana Law Journal article, in most cases, its main focus has been to stop foreign terrorist attacks, foreign meddling in things like our elections, and domestic attacks. It also allows for warrantless searches, as you will see later, can be a positive or a negative, and on the positive aspect, they are faster and have a quicker response time. So these are some of the positive impacts of the Act. Let's go over some of the negatives. So, in many cases, there are legitimate privacy concerns surrounding Section 702, and in one case, according to a 2014 article from the Harvard Journal of Law and Public Policy, the Act has been used to gather information on U.S. citizens or other innocent people unintentionally. Now, this is done most often when, say, a foreign terrorist or person suspected of harboring foreign intelligence interacts with someone, say, a U.S. resident, and their interactions are recorded and their data can be exposed. Another negative of the Act, even though I highlighted it as a positive earlier, is warrantless searches, as someone who may be innocent or otherwise would not be allowed to have their data surveyed can be done without a large amount of evidence. So Another thing that is slightly more suspect is how the government has used this legal collection method as a way to secretly spy on people that are U.S. citizens, even though that is not the intended form of the Act. So, in conclusion, there are many forms of data that are collected from multiple sources through the Act. However, for the most part, it has great safety benefits when used as intended, but in some cases, has the potential to be a serious privacy concern.